Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Chillin' with Death. You got Damien chillin' here, and you got Deathface with us here as well. How are you doing?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty good. We just got done adding in our new intro,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a little bit of a task, but we got it, and
Yeah.
I'm really liking how it sounds.
Yeah, so obviously, as you guys first tuned in, you guys heard our little intro there. Still a little bit of a work in progress, but we're pretty happy with the result. It took a lot of trial and error. It's probably a lot easier than what we're making it out to be. Because yeah, we I don't know, we are using a different software to do our recordings, and this is kind of what we're gonna go with for the time being, just because our other software that we were using was giving us a lot of issues. This seems like the easiest fit, so if we sound different at all throughout the episodes or anything like that, I mean, we'll let you know if it's technical difficulties or something like that. But yeah, as of right now, this software seems to be working pretty fine, so we're gonna go with this one. Um, and yeah, I mean, our intro, we might also kind of rotate the intros because the intro that you just heard that was created by me. Deathface has some couple as well that he wants to create, and I want to create some more as well. So be on the lookout or listen to the different intros each time for each episode. But enough about that. Yeah, how are you, man? What have you been up to? What are you doing? Walk us through it.
I'm pretty good, man. Had a good day with family today, but recently finally beat FF7 Rebirth. Finally,
Nice.
I think I did 72 hours in
I was just
total.
about to ask, yeah, because I remember the last time you said you were about like 50 hours.
Yeah. So at about 40 to 50 hours, I stopped doing the side, all the side stuff. I did some here and there, but I stopped doing the main missions for certain reasons. But yeah, I finished that, and I'm gonna get into that in more detail here in a little bit. And started to continue my journey with Doom. So just playing that. I think I'm on chapter 9 with that game.
Okay.
Still got a little ways to go, but I'm having a good time with it. Apart from what we talked about last week, the music,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's like you were saying, it's good music, but when I'm playing it, it's just not there.
Yeah.
But like I was telling you the other day, the gameplay, the atmosphere, the challenges that you have to do
Yeah.
in the maps, they kind of take you away from that and just make you focused on playing the game.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not really too much of an issue. Like I did go back and listen to some of the Doom Eternal stuff, and I understand now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if I do want that music, I can just go listen to that. So it's like it's
Yeah.
fine. I still
Yeah.
like the game.
Yeah. After playing it a little bit more, that one day me and you were playing. Yeah, I just I tried to I wouldn't say ignore it, but I tried to kind of look past it, and I'm just so used to Eternal and Doom 2016, and please don't take this as I don't like the game or anything like that. It's just that it's just me being nitpicky, but it's just, yeah. I wish that for me personally, the music was more than what it is, but it's good for what it is. So please don't take my word as saying the game is horrible or anything like that. The music is still good, especially for those who don't even listen to metal or haven't even played a Doom game. You'll enjoy it through and through, I promise. But yeah, same here. I think I did up till about chapter 7, I believe, because I finished the mission with the pretty big area. So, but I'm sorry. Continue what you were saying.
No, no, I'm just saying I'm having a good time. But other than beating Rebirth and continuing Doom, I mean, I've been watching The Last of Us. I know you haven't
Mm-hmm.
finished the last last few episodes, but
Yeah.
tonight is the final episode
Oh,
of the
that's
season.
right.
Um, I do want to talk about it, but you haven't continued. You haven't finished. You're not up
Yeah.
to the latest episode. So
Yeah. Well, hey,
please.
I'm not the only one. I'm sure the people that are listening here, they maybe haven't watched it as well. So either way, I don't think. I don't think we would probably be able to talk too much about it, without spoiling it, of course.
Yeah, but other than that, what about you, man? I think you streamed a couple times, you know?
Yes. So I besides, well, I'll get to that here in a sec, but besides that streaming portion of it, yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Doom here and there. I have yet to pick back up on Expedition, which is very, very sad because I said I was going to. Two, I really do want to. But it's just right now Doom, and I told you this. Doom is a smaller game, compared to Expedition, an RPG game. You know what I mean? So I want to finish that first for sure. Then I promise I will get back into Expedition after that, which we'll see when that is because I am pretty slow when it comes to video games and trying to complete them on my own. Besides that, well, on top of that too, I'm also, well, you too, we're playing Destiny too, and we know how time consuming that is. That that takes up a lot of our nights.
Mm-hmm.
So just those two games at the moment. I'm enjoying it though. I am enjoying it at the pace that I'm going. Because it just creates more games for me to be able to play and experience. So I'm not in the loop when it comes to being able to share experiences, but I'm still up to date with what's going on. So if anybody talks to me about video games, I'll know exactly what y'all are talking about. I look at news outlets every now and then. I, of course, avoid spoilers on anything and everything, just because obviously I don't want to get spoiled for them and I want to experience it for myself. But yeah, so besides that, I did stream a little bit, like you mentioned, on my Twitch channel. Like I mentioned a couple episodes ago, I did want to go ahead and try to get back into streaming, which I kind of have some stuff situated, personally, where I am able to kind of make some free time to be able to do that. So it's been fun. I think the last time I streamed was on, gosh, Friday night, 2 days ago. Um, and it's funny, in the entire time that I've streamed before, within the last couple of years, I got my, I guess I got my very first, what would you call it? I guess I got my very first hater in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'm sure you saw that because I brought it up to see if you saw that. Yeah, I was streaming Destiny 2, and we were just doing Vanguard stuff, and some guy in there, he I don't remember what exactly he said, but he did say something like, first of all, he was a first time viewer because when I'm streaming, it tells me on there, first time chatter, first time viewer, yada yada yada, and he comes in and he says, what in the world is going on? You're using so and so weapon on a strike as a hunter, you fucking degenerate. And I didn't see it at first when he was typing all that up. I saw it maybe, I guess, a couple minutes later, and it threw me off because I was like, "What the fuck?" And I wasn't. I try not to respond to. I guess I don't think he was trolling. I think he was being dead serious. But I try not to respond to like trolly type of stuff, just because I don't want to give them the attention or anything like that. So if anybody does join my stream at any point and y'all put some troll stuff on there, I'm not gonna acknowledge it. It just kind of ruins it. So don't expect a reaction from me. But yeah, I saw that and I just wanted to point it out to him. Kind not joking with him, but I did want to just let him know that I'm unfazed by it. I was like, yeah, here, look, man, look, I'm not even using that gun anymore, so don't worry. But I think he had already been gone at that point. I guess I ruined his night or something. But besides that, it's been some pretty good times streaming. I streamed 2 days ago and then a day or two before that as well, and it was cool. It is a couple viewers every now and then, but it's still fun, and it's always good content as well. So keep a lookout on the Instagram. I usually post a couple of minutes, maybe 30 minutes max, as to when I'm in the stream and what I'm streaming. So keep an eye out for that. Um, so let's hear about your Final Fantasy VII Rebirth journey.
Yeah, man. So just to throw this out there, I never played the original. So when it comes to the story and everything, I mean, it's all new to me. But overall, man, it was a fun time, man. The gameplay, the open world aspect of it compared to remake. I mean,
Yeah.
I loved that remake was a little. I mean, it was a little open, but it was more linear and the areas were smaller. So
I thought it was pretty open, but again, that was my first time playing a Final Fantasy game as well.
yeah, but compared to Rebirth, man, damn. I mean, I could have easily put over 100 hours in this game. Um, but like I said, I put 72. Um, but everything, I mean, I enjoyed everything. You know, the characters were great. You know, these, I mean, these characters from, from
From like popular
pop,
media.
yeah, from like all that. And I always like I'm a action figure collector, and I always wanted to collect some of these characters because I just thought they looked badass.
Hmm.
But I'm over here. I don't want to be over here collecting them, and then I don't even know nothing about them.
Right.
So I finally, like I said, I finally got into this Final Fantasy series, and this was the first time I ever like beat any Final Fantasy game. So gameplay was great. The weapons, the abilities, the builds you can create with the equipment. Um, all that was awesome. The only thing I can say that was a little bit like time consuming was the first couple of areas I was doing almost everything on the map. And up until a certain point, I realized, like the side missions, there's certain things that can happen, um, that affect kind of like this, what happens later on.
Right.
So I stopped doing the side missions when I realized I was like, okay, I don't want to mess this up. So,
Okay.
and it's personal preference. You're not going to mess anything up, but it's just personal preference on how you want to go about it. Um, but I chose to do something specific to just get what I wanted out of it, and I did, and it was great, man. It was everything I wanted from why I stopped playing the side missions. So that was awesome. But like I said, later on, I stopped doing all the side stuff just because it was a little bit like I said, time consuming,
Yeah.
and it was just it was like rinse and repeat on some stuff, and it's all cool, but like I said, time consuming.
Right.
Um, Mini games were I liked some, I didn't disliked others. So that's another area where I was like, 50-50. But overall, it was great. Um, the story was confusing. Um, and that came from the end of remake. I was like, okay, what the hell's going on? But, I was able to get in, of course, I was able to get in straight into Rebirth right after I beat remake. And it was still confusing. And then even the end, I kind of knew what was going on. So when when I finished it, I went on Reddit to like kind of explain. And
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of got a little bit of like minor spoilers of what will possibly happen. But like I said, I mean it's completely remade. They're doing different things from what I understand, than the original to please everybody, which I like. I don't, like I said, I didn't play the original, so I don't have a strong attachment to the original story. Which, either way, I'm fine with it. Um, but overall, man, I think this for me, putting everything together and everything I experienced in this game, I would give it like maybe 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry to cut you off here, just so that it kind of people understand. I guess your rating system, is an 8.5 very, very good, or
Yes, yeah,
okay.
it's yeah. That's for me. That's a great game. Um, I don't like. I'm not a big rater on video games or whatever. I don't really like to give ratings as much,
Right, right.
but because generally,
There's just a lot of different misinterpretations when it comes to that.
yeah, generally I enjoy everything I play. If I
Right.
really do not enjoy it, why am I gonna put in 72 hours? Like
That is true.
like and but like I said, that there was a couple of things I kind of like was like, oh man, like this kind of sucks, but it was still a great game overall, man. I had a great time with it. I can't I can't say. I mean, the whole time, like the gameplay, bro, like being able to chain the attacks with the different players and doing like crazy damage, and then the effects, the visual effects. And I was looking at some videos on like hard mode and stuff like that, and it's crazy. I didn't realize the how much more you can expand from what I already was doing, and I didn't. I was like, wow, I never seen that ability. Like, how do I get that? Uh, but like I said, I stopped exploring a lot of the world. Like I did go and do like the fast travel points just to see what everything was on the map. But I'm kind of leaving that off for now, and I'll probably go in there and do some of the side stuff just because I do want to see a lot of the side quests, how they turned out and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but overall, man, it was badass. I think it was one of my best decisions to get into that game, because it's one of my favorite games that I've played, remake and rebirth, and I can't wait for the third part. So
Yeah. That's awesome. What kind of games would somebody have to play to take interest into Final Fantasy? That at least from you playing it, like what are some games that yeah somebody would be playing to kind of pique their interest in Final Fantasy?
I would say from the games I played, I can slash
Right.
like Devil May Cry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put a lot of hours into 4 and 5 or anything like that, but
Yeah.
I did play a little bit of them. And, there is that. Um, there's still that form of turn based, but it's I like how they did it, man, because it's just not strictly just turn based, turn based, turn based.
Right. Right.
It's very, I mean, you can take control of everything. Of course, you're limited on certain things, but and then the story kind of like sometimes it locks you with specific things you can do, and I mean, I liked it for the story aspect of it. I mean, it was great, man, and there's some characters I prefer more over the
Mm-hmm.
others, which just with my play style. But I mean, I've seen other people use the characters that I didn't really use, and man, they 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 be doing some crazy damage with them. And I mean, it's just all about the equipment you put on them and the abilities you unlock with them. Every weapon has a a special ability you can level up, which is pretty cool. And then I think once you unlock that ability, you can uh you can use it on any weapon. I think don't quote me on that, but I think. Um, but yeah, man, it was. I mean, if you just like the visual effects of it, man, especially when you're in like the big battles, it's crazy. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. They
But
do go over the top for sure on the boss battles.
yeah, yeah, I really loved it. But yeah, like and anything hack and slash, Devil May Cry. I can't really.
Obviously RPG.
Yeah, RPG. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So the reason, so okay, let me ask you this too. Now that you have played both, do you think? Because we talked about it a little bit, or I mentioned it before. Um, do you think Crisis Core fits in between, or like where do you think Crisis Core will fit in now that you beat these two games?
Well, from what I was reading, Crisis Core. Um, See, I can't even remember, but I think that one wasn't really much
Is it
a.
like its own separate thing, but like in the Final Fantasy VII universe or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't think it had much in terms of like story. I think it
Okay.
was just mainly just you just go in and do your thing. Um, but I there are some pieces I am missing. Because there's certain things that happen in this game where I'm just like, what's going on here? Like,
Mm-hmm.
who is this person?
Yeah.
And of course, if you've seen trailers or covers of the art, or if you haven't played the game, I mean, yeah, to me, I I was planning on playing Crisis Core, but that's like another game you have to
Yeah.
play. and that's just more time and effort. And maybe eventually I'll play it, but for right now, from it kind of like at by the ending of Rebirth, you kind of understand what's going on just by like certain things that certain characters say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they imply what's going on. Of course, nobody's telling you what's going on because nobody really knows what's going on in the game, themselves. So it's just something you can piece by piece by just what everybody is saying,
Right.
flashbacks and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. So overall, very great game. You said.
Yeah, I really recommend it. If you're really if you're thinking about getting into a Final Fantasy game, I think Final Fantasy 7 Remake is probably the best game
Yeah.
you
I
can get into it with.
I agree because yeah, I've only played about maybe a little bit less than half of the remake, and I enjoyed it. So I definitely take your word for it. And I mean, I do have interest in eventually beating it and also getting into Rebirth. Who knows? Maybe once the third one comes out, they'll probably bundle all of them together or something for like a big game or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So kind of I did want to actually ask you this kind of a side note when you were talking about how you thought that the figures looked cool but you didn't want to get it because you don't know much about it. um I have um I have done that before where I'll collect a figure that I don't really know much about, but I still do collect it because it is video game related. I just wanted to bring up that I think that collecting figures um for like the things that you like is really really cool, especially for like the obscure things that you like. It's just really cool knowing that like people know things. So I'll give an example. I have a I'm looking for it right now. I have an Funko Pop. It's a Funko Pop. It's for Evil Dead, Ash for the Army of Darkness, and it's just I don't know. I just think that kind of stuff is really cool. It really means a lot whenever I find something. I'm like, wow, I can't believe that like this kind of stuff exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I just wanted to bring that little tidbit up. But besides that, awesome that you finally finished it. Now you can play some other games.
yeah, yeah. So I'm continuing Doom, like I was saying, and then I think I'm gonna finish that, and then I'm finally gonna get into restarting and finishing Expedition 33 because I do have like 2 hours into it, but since I haven't touched it since then, I will,
Yeah.
once I'm done with Doom, I want to get in there, restart it, and play from start to finish and dedicate my time to that. So I'm really excited for that. Um, Coming up
Speak
next.
Speaking of video games, I have the little section here of some video game news that I wanted to go over. So I'll just kind of breeze through it kind of quickly, but still kind of talk about it. So I just usually kind of gather some stuff that has happened throughout the week up until the point that we record something. These are some things that I gathered that I wanted to share. So we have Metaphor and a handful of other pretty big games that are coming to Game Pass. I believe that's this upcoming week here in a couple of days actually. Um, we also have Hellblade 2 that is coming to PlayStation, and we have support for Mortal Kombat 1 is ending. Um, Metaphor, that's really cool that it's coming to Game Pass because I see a lot of people talk about that game and of course how very very time consuming it is, but that it's very much worth it and that it's a really good entry point to get into the Persona games. I have to look a little bit more into what other games are coming in there as well, but I do remember seeing some pretty big games that are coming to Game Pass as well. Hellblade 2 coming to the PlayStation. I think that one is. I don't want to be what's the word I'm looking for. I don't want to be sour about it or anything like that. But I think it's kind of funny that it's coming to PlayStation. And this is only because on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, I remember seeing when they announced Hellblade 2 and up until when it came out on Xbox, because it was exclusive to Xbox, and it came straight to Game Pass. And I remember like all the Xbox players were making fun of PlayStation because, oh, we have this amazing game, yada yada yada. And I mean, look where we are now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be sour about it, but I don't I don't really know how I feel about that coming to PlayStation, just because it's more of like a movie than it is a game. Of course, there's gameplay, but I think with Hellblade 2, they kind of just were showing off of like how good it looks. Because I remember the gameplay of it, like at most, at most, you only have like one enemy like in front of you, rather than like multiple enemies, that kind of stuff. And it's a pretty short game, so that's how I feel about Hellblade 2 coming to PlayStation. Cool, for those who were looking forward to it. But the big one for me is the support for Mortal Kombat 1 ending. And the reason being is because I'm a huge, huge Mortal Kombat fan, not just because of, how it's gory and that kind of stuff. One, it's a very good fighting game. Two, I do enjoy the stories that they tell in the games. And of course, I mean, there's just really badass moments in there. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I know a bunch of unnecessary lore. This is just a franchise that I've been playing since the early PlayStation days. Um, but for me, with it ending, it's pretty shitty, and I want to say a little bit scummy, because when the game first came out in 2023, the creator, or like, yeah, the creator of Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon, he said that Mortal Kombat 1 was going to get support for so many years. I think he even said something like more than Mortal Kombat 11, which I believe Mortal Kombat 11 lasted about a year and a half, something like that. And now all of a sudden it's ending without really kind of a notice. Besides, of course, hey, we're ending support for it. But they were kind of picking up on it with the recent DLC. They had the story DLC on there, and then they also had the characters that were coming out as well. So I'm pretty bummed about that. Um, but hey, they said that they're stopping support for it. That way they can work on their next game. So we'll see what that is. Whether it's going to be Injustice or hopefully another Mortal Kombat game. What are your overall thoughts on these little news tidbits?
Yeah. So on you were talking about Metaphor coming to Game
Yeah,
Pass. I'm excited for that because I did play the demo on my
right.
PS5 when it came out. Um, and I finished it and I had a good time, man. I mean, I've played turn-based games before, like the old ones back in the day, but
Yeah,
um this was a game that everybody was talking about, so I was like, yeah, I'll check out the demo. Try something new because I wanted to branch out on kind of like I was saying in the other podcast, my stepping out of my comfort zone and play different
yeah.
games because I just think those worlds are pretty cool, like whole Persona franchise,
Hmm.
and then Metaphor coming out made in that same, I think, is it made that by the same people that made Persona? Yeah, right.
I'd like to assume so. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So. Um, and then of course, once I get into Expedition, I really want to go back to Metaphor and, at least play through the story. I probably won't do the crazy hours. I mean,
right.
I know either way it's gonna be crazy hours, but I'm probably not gonna go to the full extent. But
Yeah.
I am very much looking forward to that on Game Pass. Another one that I'm looking forward to on Game Pass that's coming out with Metaphor is Division 2.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Yep.
Not that I'm gonna get back into it, but I just like that it's going to be there for everybody because I did put in a lot of hours on Division 1 and 2. Um, my dad games, so he was, man, he put so many hours in both of those games, and I remember we used to game together, we used to play, and we used to do the harder missions, and it was a great game, man, and it was fun. Getting all the gear, getting these
Yeah.
crazy weapons, and getting high levels, and so those two games are pretty much, I'm glad they'll be on Game Pass for people to experience.
Right.
Um, Hellblade 2 coming to PlayStation, I think that's cool. I really loved the way it looked,
Yeah.
from the trailers I seen. I was thinking about maybe playing them at some point, but it
Hmm.
kind of wasn't really on my radar. So to me, that's fine. I don't have no issue with it. The support for Mortal Kombat, that's sad. That sucks.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like you who's a huge fan. I mean, I'm a huge fan as well, but not not on your level.
Right.
Um, I genuinely just suck at Mortal Kombat games. I mean, I'll play the story, but
Yeah.
when it comes to learning characters and doing the combo, I just can't. I can't get it, and I can get it to an extent, but I don't know. I'm too lazy to sit
Right.
there and do
That's
that.
understandable. And the cool thing about Mortal Kombat 2 is that it's one of those. A lot of people don't see it as like a really good fighting game, and I totally understand that. I personally think it is just because I do play all of them. But the cool thing about Mortal Kombat is that it's for everyone. They can just pick up a controller, play it. That's kind of really it. And I mean that is a lot how Mortal Kombat is seen. Of course, there's other fighting games like your Street Fighters and that kind of stuff. But this one, you can just pick up the controller, play it for a little bit, get off. You'll have fun.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm not a huge fan of fighting games. I prefer racing games over fighting
Hmm.
games, but that's just me. But I am a fan of Mortal Kombat, like, because it's just badass, bro. Gory,
Yeah.
the finishers and all that stuff. I mean, and then the characters. I always just love the whole and the lore behind it too. Is just it's just badass. It's just over the top sometimes and
It
crazy.
is very over the top. Yeah.
but but yeah, those are my thoughts on the news.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, but a bit of a slow week with gaming news, so hopefully something picks up. Well, as a matter of fact, actually, we got we're so close to the Summer Game Fest, so I'm actually really excited about that because I want to see what's coming out, and I just want to talk about that. So really looking forward to that. June 5th. Another little tidbit that I did want to get into is let's go ahead and talk about some console wars. You remember that, right?
Yeah, dude.
So I still to this day always see I mean like I mentioned with Hellblade, people, comparing consoles and whatnot, and I feel like now I feel like now especially we're in a pretty good place where we're literally, I wouldn't even say in the middle, but we can just kind of take a seat back and watch it all unfold because we're on PC, or we mostly primarily play on PC. Um so I want to kind of get with you and see, console wars back, at least back then, because it was very big in the PS3 and 360 era. What were you maining? Who did you go with? And if you have a reason, why?
Well, I kind of like how you were saying in the last podcast how you lived in a PlayStation household.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I came from too. My dad had a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and then the PS3 came out, and I think that thing was like what, $600.
Yeah, it was like $600. Yep.
Yeah, and my dad bought it, the big chunky boy
Yep.
PS3, and
Do
that
you
was his
know
console.
do you know if he got the 60 gigabyte or the 80, I think it was?
Dude, he got the highest one. He got the most expensive one. No, my dad always goes for the expensive one.
Right.
Um, and that was his console. I would play it here and there, but it was his. I didn't really want to touch it because it was expensive, and I wasn't I wasn't like, I didn't want to get him upset, whatever. So I finally was able to scrounge up a little bit of money because I would go bus tables at the restaurant we had at the time,
Mhm.
and I was able to convince him to take me to Game Crazy, actually, in the Hollywood Video over there where I used to live. And I got an Xbox 360 because it was cheaper. And I just wanted something different than the PlayStation. Just, I don't know. I just wanted to be different, I guess. Uh, so I was mainly on Xbox 360 for a while until I realized that in all the games that I played on there were amazing. I think that's where I played Skyrim.
Okay.
to its entirety, and that's where I started playing Call of Duty. And then I got a PS3 because all my friends at school had a PlayStation, and I
Yeah.
wasn't able to game with most of my friends, so that's what I got. And then I started seeing all these console wars, and I'm all like, I didn't understand it. I was like, in the perfect world, man, just buy both. You'll have you'll have both.
Yeah.
And that's how I saw it. I had the Xbox 360, I had the PS3, so I
Gotcha.
I had both, and it was just like, okay, to me, it's dumb. I don't understand. Like, gaming community is supposed to be a place of positivity and to have fun, to enjoy what you're playing, whether that
Exactly.
be on Xbox or PlayStation, exclusive, to whatever console you're using. Um, I mean, I just didn't have a huge attachment to, like, Halo, or what was another big one?
There was Halo. Of course there was Gears of War.
Gears of War.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I played all those on 360.
hmm
And then of course, when I got a PS3, and then those exclusives started coming out.
Yeah.
God of War 3, I played that one
hmm
to its entirety. The Last of Us, God of War 2018. I and to me, it was just dumb. I didn't care for it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. Have fun with your games. I'm having fun with my games. Like, why are you making a big deal? But I understand. No, no, you can't please everybody. Everybody's gonna be shitting on
hmm
the other side. But it's like, now got PC, man. And I got a PS5, so it's like I still
Yeah.
got both. So
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, with PC, you can play obviously the Microsoft games, So yeah, you do have both technically with the PC and the PlayStation. So um, okay. So then, what would you say you leaned more towards if you had to choose?
uh, PlayStation.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I
Good.
mean, if I didn't get a PlayStation, I wouldn't have played my favorite game of all time, which is The Last of Us Part
Yeah.
One,
Yeah.
because I played it the day after it released. It released on June 13th, uh,
Okay.
2013,
Yeah.
and I think June 13th. And my birthday is on June 14th. So one of my girlfriend at the time in high school, she went to go buy me the game, and she
Wow.
took it. She took it to my house with the cake.
Wow.
And yeah, dude. And so I grabbed a slice of cake and I started playing it, man. And it's funny because I remember playing this game, and I would stop playing it. When I was done, I would put it down. Then I would go watch my favorite YouTuber play his, watch his gameplay, and just stop watching his gameplay until at the part that I stopped, and
Mm.
then I would continue. And so I kind of did that, and I mean, it turned into my favorite game of all time. Just real quick, Last of Us Part Two, I had trouble enjoying, or had trouble with the story, but the gameplay is probably up there as one of the best gameplays I've ever experienced. The
Okay.
upgraded gameplay. I really love the gameplay in The Last of Us Part Two. The story, I mean, I'm okay with it the way it turned out. I really liked all uh, the cult aspect they threw in there. That was cool, but
hmm
I mean, I don't think The Last of Us Part Two is up there in any of my favorite games of all time, except for the gameplay.
Wow. Okay. I say wow because a lot of people, and I'm sure you've seen it, prefer the second one over the first one. But a lot of it is because of the gameplay. Um. Okay. Well, good choice. Good choice there. Good choice of words. So with me, console wars. So like I mentioned in the last episode, I believe is yeah, I grew up in a PlayStation household. Um, so like I mentioned, I played a lot of the, I guess in my personal opinion, I played a lot of the greats. I played, of course, Crash Bandicoot. I played some Jack and Daxter here and there. I played a lot of like the platformers on there, and they were exclusive to PlayStation. So up until when the 360 and the PS3 came out, my dad, who was a huge PlayStation guy, got the 360. I want to say probably day one, and you know, I was very, I wouldn't say I was very excited about it because you know it's a brand new console. We'd heard about it, that kind of stuff. I don't remember what games he got exactly at launch, but so had the 360 for up until the PS3 when it came out, and I remember my dad struggling to be able to get it because if some way somehow it was always sold out for that price. Um, so we were stuck with the 360 for a little bit, quite a bit actually, because I do remember uh, playing Halo 3, which came out in 2007, and still not having a PS3. So yeah, I did play a lot of 360 for sure up until we got the PS3. I did play the greats, you know, Halo 3, Gears of War, the first one at least, because I don't remember when the second one came out, but when the second one came out, we had already had a PS3. But Halo 3 for me was like the main game that I just always played. Uh, and I honestly I considered Call of Duty 4 as my first online, you know, playing online type of game. But Halo 3 was like my first true like online where I would get on every single day to play that game, and it 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 just was a really good time. So I played a lot of Halo 3. I wouldn't say I made a lot of friends, but I did online at least make some friends to always play with. And it was just always a good time playing the custom games, and then of course also playing just whatever's on there, even going through the campaign as well. So then we got the PS3, and my dad loved it. A lot of people hated it at first, which it's understandable. One, because of the price, but then also there wasn't really much, I don't think, in the beginning of the life cycle of it. It wasn't until, do you remember when they kind of like rebranded the whole PlayStation? They came out with a slim model. They lowered the price. Do you remember all that?
Yeah, I actually that's the one I bought was a slim model.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it wasn't up until when the slim model came. I believe this was like 2009, 2010 maybe, that they came out with the slim model, and my dad got that one, of course, and that's kind of really where my I guess you can say my reintroduction to PlayStation was. Um, of course, it was still the same PlayStation, just a lot slimmer, and they started coming out with more games for it. I remember one of the first games that I did play on it was Resistance. Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
So I remember playing Resistance on there, and I thought that was really fucking cool. I thought the story was pretty cool because of the little, or not little, but the alien, whatever, you know, just kind of, it was just like a broken world with aliens just kind of being there. And you know, of course, being able to kill them. And then the multiplayer on there was pretty cool because I think that was like the first time on console at least where you can play like up to 64 players at a time. And I didn't play much of it, but from what I did play, it was really fun. So then, you know, then I started playing. I started preferring playing games on there more than I did on the 360. I know that the 360 ran and performed better than the PS3, but I was just having such a good time with the PS3 that I didn't even really care or notice the performance difference. So I would play games on there, like the games that came out on both 360 and PS3, on the PS3 mostly. And on top of that, I didn't even mention the part that the online was free on the PS3. Um, with the Xbox, you had to pay what, $60 for the whole year, or like $10 month to month.
I can't remember, but yeah, that's another reason why that I started playing on PS3 more is because I mean I didn't have to pay,
Hmm.
and I think I was paying for that because, like I said, I was bussing tables, making a little bit of money,
Yeah,
and so I'm like, well, man, I'll just save my money for actual games and just play on the PS3.
yeah, that I remember with my 360. Whenever I would hop on it, and not knowing when the Xbox Live ran out, and then as soon as I saw that message, you know, hey, renew your Xbox subscription, I'd be like, nope, back to PS3. Oh, yeah, it wasn't really up until 2011 maybe when I really just only played PlayStation. I didn't even touch my 360 anymore, and that was because of Call of Duty. Black Ops 1 is what really just kind of made me get stuck on the PS3. Of course, the later iterations of Call of Duty. But yeah, like I mentioned before, I was playing a lot of my Devil May Cry on there. God of War, of course. I did play. I believe I started playing Uncharted, but I started with Uncharted 2. Never finished it or anything like that. But then there was just. I personally think that there were better exclusives on there, at least for story mode wise, because you had The Last of Us, like you mentioned, God of War, and these are games that are still going big, even on the PS4. So after PS3, I went ahead and moved on to the PS4, and I just really stuck with PlayStation ever since then. A lot of my favorite games are on PlayStation or are PlayStation exclusives. One that really sticks out to me. This is probably one of my favorite. This is one of my, I would say, probably top five. We'll say for now. My one of my favorite games of all time, God of War, specifically God of War 2018 on the PS4. Mostly because I didn't play it day one. It took me a while to get it, and after playing through with it, it's like, holy shit, dude. Not just gameplay wise, but just the story itself too. It takes place in Norse mythology, so that's already a pretty badass era there. And just seeing how much Kratos has gone through, where he's at now. And at that point in time in my life, I kind of was going, I wouldn't say going through stuff, but I myself was like changing. So it's going to sound cringy, but I feel like I changed and grew up with Kratos at the same time. So yeah, God of War, me personally, best favorite franchise of all time. But yeah, then of course we got the PS5, and oh, I got the PS5, and as of right now on the PS5, my favorite game all time, uh, as of right now at least, is Astrobot, and I can't say enough good things about it. If you grew up on PlayStation and PlayStation, you absolutely need to get this game. So many, just so many throwbacks, so many like it's gonna unlock so many memories for you, and it's just yeah. I'm excited for you to play it whenever you get a chance to, because you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play it. I just haven't touched my PlayStation since I got my PC
Right.
last year. And one thing I do want to throw out there, kind of going back to like which side I chose, which side I preferred,
Hmm.
because I remember when, the Xbox One and the PS4 came out,
Yeah.
um, I could not find a PS4, and
Yeah.
I really wanted to play. I just wanted, the next generation. So I did buy an Xbox One because that was the one that it was still available everywhere.
Hmm.
Um, so I bought an Xbox One, and then I think I was playing 2K. I'm a big, well, not a big 2K player anymore, but I was for a while. Just because, like I said, I was getting kind of bored of multiplayer Call of Duty and run and gun and stuff. So I started playing basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan. So, um, but then as soon as I had the money and time went on, I straight up just bought a PS5, PS4, and then just never touched my Xbox One again. So
Well,
kind of the same thing. Like I just preferred the games on there more. Um, I
yeah.
don't know, and, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be like I didn't enjoy my time with Xbox at all.
Yeah.
I loved it. That's
Yep.
where I was introduced to multiplayer gaming.
Yeah.
Um, when I really, really got heavy into just dedicating a lot of my time into gaming was on the Xbox 360.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, at the time, PS5 just had way better exclusives, and I didn't. I wasn't the one to hate or anything like that. I was just playing what I wanted to play, and
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. So, and I'm gonna kind of leave off with this kind of at the my overall thoughts on console wars. My overall thoughts on kind of what I chose, which I mean, I feel like I kind of already gave the obvious answer, but um, I think overall, it's stupid. If you're still doing console wars, I think you, I think you're just not a gamer. You know, um, just enjoy what we have. enjoy what we have, whether it be on a specific console or not. And if you like how you said, in the perfect world, why not just have both, or why not get both? Um, I think it's a lot better. I think gaming is in a better state now because how I mentioned with the gaming news earlier, we have Xbox games coming to PlayStation now, and vice versa as well, or at least with PlayStation games going to PC. But who knows? Maybe there might be a future where PlayStation games do go to Xbox if Xbox is still around. Because I mean, I don't know what they're doing with like their whole console marketing and whatnot, but I think overall, I just think the console wars is kind of dumb, especially in this day and age. Um, I obviously choose PlayStation, or chose PlayStation, because right now I strictly only have a PC. The Xbox in general, even to now, I think the UI, like the interface, is very confusing to me. Um, and on top of that too, there's just a bunch of randomness in there. I don't know if you've seen an Xbox screen recently at all, but there's just ads on there too, which is weird.
Yeah, no, when I had the Xbox One, see, I haven't played on an Xbox console since I had the Xbox One.
Hmm.
Um, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the UI at all.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't have an issue with the whole Xbox versus PS5 or whatever, but I didn't, I prefer the PlayStation.
Hmm.
And then now, of course, I'm on PC, so it's like, and one thing that I did want to kind of mention was it's still funny to me when I see, in comments and videos where people are like, "Well, just get a PC and blah blah blah. You want, your console will never be as good as a PC." And then people are like, "Well, nobody's gonna pay, thousands of dollars for a PC." And I'm like, "Well, I wasn't gonna pay that either, but there's so many ways. Like the way I got my PC, man, on Newegg, there's payment plans. I mean,
Hmm.
what if you have a job? I mean, if you don't have a job, I don't know what to say, but if you have a job, you're making money. I mean, you can easily get a PC. I mean,
Hmm.
and I get it. We all have responsibilities, but if you're gonna be, to me, if you're gonna be fighting and trying to say PC, like, oh, y'all are rich or whatever, well, I'm not spending that much money, but you're still fighting over who's the best console. Like, to me, that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. One thing about how you mentioned PC, when people say, I don't want to spend thousands of dollars, no one's asking you to. PCs are, you can, and that's what I'm saying, is that I don't think I don't think you're a gamer if you're complaining about a console war, that kind of stuff, because you can build a PC for as low as like 300, $400, the same thing that it would cost for an Xbox or a PlayStation. You still have plenty of options to be able to play whatever game you want to on there. Well, I mean, of course, except for like the bigger titles, but you know what I mean. You can play certain games on there. Enjoy the best of both sides. So I don't know if you still do console wars. I hope that you do broaden your mind on playing other video games too, because I personally just want I want everybody to enjoy their time with a hobby. What it is.
Hmm.
So that's my take on console wars. I think it was a lengthy talk, but hey, we got what we thought out there. So this is the end of the episode. Any closing thoughts?
I think I do want to just change my rating on Rebirth. Kind of thinking about it. I'm gonna give it a 2. No, I'm just playing. No, I'll give it the 9,
Awesome.
the 9, because I, I'm sorry, I just can't sit here and say it was the best game I've ever played. I mean, it was fun. I had a great time with it. It was amazing. But I mean, I think it does deserve the praise that it got. I mean, because I seen on Reddit, man, people are everybody just has so much to complain about, and it's just, what what are you doing? Just play the game. If you don't if you don't like it, don't put in 100 hours into a game if you don't like it, and then
Hmm.
and then go on Reddit or on the comments and bash the game after you put all that time. Like, you just wasted all your time just to hate.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people will just hate play a game.
But overall, man, all this, like I was saying, man, gaming is supposed to be an escape from the outside world because,
Hmm.
you know, I use gaming to escape what I go through in my personal life. And
Yeah.
I went through a lot, growing up. And then even just recently, I think I'm 3 months sober from all types of drugs and stuff like that and
Hmm.
alcohol. And over the years, gaming has really helped me to escape, and actually feel like I matter. Like
Yeah.
when I'm in a game, I just feel like what I'm doing in the game, it matters, and that's how it should feel for everybody. It's like just have fun and enjoy what you have.
Hmm.
If you're just hating all the time, if you're hating on us, I mean, because I have my PlayStation, I got Xbox on the PC. I'll gladly boot up my PlayStation and go play some exclusives, like Astrobot. I
Hmm.
mean, I'll gladly, go on there and play it. I'll come on here and play. Recently we were trying to play Halo 5, but the loading screens was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, overall, it's just to me, it's the whole console war is a whole. Just I don't know. It's dumb to me. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Just have fun with what we
exactly.
got.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you said it best that, video games are supposed to be fun. They are supposed to be an escape, which I totally agree because, I don't have the best life or anything like that. And when when I get, let's just say, for example, when I get off of work, I mean, kudos to those who enjoy what they do, that kind of stuff. But when I get off of work, I want to come home, play video games because I know that will usually always put a smile on my face, unless we're
Hmm.
playing something competitive, of course. But that's a different story. But yeah, it's supposed to be fun. And if you don't play video games, I highly encourage, find there's 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 going to be something that you like in the video game form. Definitely look into some video games if you need a stress reliever, if you need to, find happiness. Gaming is for everyone, I believe. So that's my message there. So, Deathface, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, deathface underscore. You can find me over at Twitch. I haven't streamed lately, but we'll see. Just follow me on there. It's Lord Leprosy. Um, and then on YouTube, you can follow our YouTube channel. We'll be posting this podcast here maybe the next couple days. Just got to get some gameplay uh, recorded and edited for the background. That's Chillin' with Death on YouTube. Just yeah, subscribe so that way you won't miss any new episodes, any new gameplay we post. I think we're thinking about posting some shorts. We have some funny moments in game, especially in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Um, so we're planning on posting more of our stuff there as well. So yeah, follow us on all those.
Cool. You can find me Instagram, Damien Chillin. You can find me on Twitch, Damien Chillin. And like Deathface mentioned, you can find us on YouTube, Chillin' with Death. Thanks everyone who tunes in. We appreciate y'all. Feel free to send us any questions on either mine or Deathface Instagram or however you're able to get a hold of us, and we'll go through them and we'll give you all our thoughts on whatever questions you guys might have. So appreciate you guys. We will see you guys on the next episode. Peace out.
Peace.